Hi there, welcome back. Today I'm just hanging out. I'm just waiting for the hydrating mask that I have on my face to kind of absorb and soak in. I do this once a week. I'll do like a deep pore cleansing mask. Right now I'm using a cold Plunge one. I think it's the name from Olehenriksen. I've shown it before, but I can link it in the description box. And then I follow with a hydrating mask. Today it is the avocado nourishing mask from Kiehl's. It literally feels like mashing an avocado with like essential oils and then putting it in your face. It feels really nice. But I figured that while I was waiting for my mask to kind of absorb and sink into my skin, we could have kind of like a fireside chat kind of video where I share some of my thoughts about another video from another beauty content creator that I just saw recently. And it's a video that Risa Does Makeup did about a month ago regarding comments that she gets about dressing age appropriately. If you don't know Risa, you should go check out her channel because she's pretty awesome. Risa does a lot of like beauty and also fashion content. So she like shows outfits and like ideas for specific occasions and so on both YouTube and Instagram. And so I guess that at one point she got some comments about how like she is not dressing appropriately for her age since she is 50. And, you know, people saying that like she's trying to dress too young, that she's trying to dress like a 20-year-old and so on. And I have seen those comments in her social media before. And I've also heard Angie Hot and Flashy, who is a little further in the 50s line, kind of sharing similar comments that she's received about her outfit choices. And while I was listening to that video from Risa, which she made like a month ago or something like that, it reminded me of an experience of my own. I'm in my late 30s, but when I was in my 20s, when I was younger, even in my late teens, I would get the complete opposite comments. I would get that I was dressing too old for my age, or that I was dressing, I don't know, too prudish or too conservative or like a religious person. I don't really know what that means. But, you know, I was watching Risa talking about like the comments that she gets about like how she's trying to dress too young. And I was like, oh my God, like I had the complete opposite experience. And it just kind of led me to thinking, what makes people think that women are dressing for anyone other than themselves? So I don't know, let's talk about it. But for some context, let me just kind of share what my experience has been with people making comments about the way I dress. So I grew up in a fairly religious family where, you know, the encouragement was to dress modest, like we weren't allowed to wear like crop tops or like short shorts or mini skirts or like bikinis. Like we weren't allowed to do any of that. And so I grew up, you know, dressing pretty like modest, I guess. It's the way that, best way I can say it, like not even wearing like skirts above my knees or anything like that. Like my school uniform was atrocious. I went to a religious school. But also at the same time, I grew up in a country, in the Dominican Republic, where the streets can get quite harassy. And, you know, like there's catcalling and men sometimes don't say the nicest things. They can be really disrespectful and downright disgusting, regardless of whether you're like a minor or not. And so the combination of those things over time kind of made me retract a little. But in addition to all of that, I'm an introvert and I don't really like attracting attention to myself in certain ways, and especially not with my clothes. I'm not comfortable wearing things that are super flashy or like, you know, that attract people's attention. And so I would say that like I dress pretty classic, I guess. You know, growing up, I really enjoyed like the model off-duty look of, you know, the supermodels in the 90s, you know, like the t-shirt and the jeans with like Doc Martens and like the leather jacket, but like fabulous hair and makeup. Like I liked that. I thought that was pretty cool. And then, you know, looking back and, you know, revisiting some of those looks, like I would look at like the looks of like Princess Diana when she was like wearing more informal clothes. It was a lot of like shirts and jeans and like blazers with jeans or like straight line pants, which, you know, thinking about it, like I wear a lot of that stuff now. Like I wear a lot of blazers and like a blazer with a t-shirt or a blazer with a shirt and like skinny jeans or like a skinny pant or whatever. Like my style is pretty simple, really. I rely on basics. I don't really buy trendy clothes. I like to buy things that I can wear for like years and years and years and years. And then if I want to spice things up, then I'll add like a fun accessory or something like that. But this is all to say, like I dress, you know, not like showing stuff off. Like even now that I'm in my late 30s and I feel pretty comfortable with myself, I don't wear, you know, flashy stuff. And you know, for work, I always dress professional, or I try to dress professional. And you know, I'm so jeans and t-shirt, nice hair, makeup or no makeup, it doesn't matter. But you know, just not, I guess, what you would consider like provocative or showing a lot of skin or anything like that. But you know, growing up and when I was in my late teens and in my early 20s, a lot of the comments that I got were like, oh, you dress too prudish, you dress, you know, you need to show more, you need to like dress sexier. And I just didn't feel comfortable doing that, but it made me feel terrible because I always felt like I was, you know, being measured to that standard of sexiness that I didn't really want to meet, but I felt like everybody expected me to meet, you know, society-wise. And, you know, then thinking about like what Risa was saying of like, oh, you're too old to dress the clothes that you're showing on Instagram. And it's like, what makes people think that women are dressing for them? In the case of Risa, you know, when people say those comments, I mean, they assume that, yes, sure, she's posting clothes on Instagram and giving people ideas, but that doesn't mean that people have the right to like dictate what she wears. And if she's happy and content and feels good with her clothing choices, it's really not for anyone else to say what she should wear or not. And let's make something clear. Risa looks amazing and she can wear whatever she wants. Okay, same for Angie. Okay, from Angie Hot and Flashy. They both look amazing. And like as a person in my late 30s, I'm like, oh my God, goals. They look so put together and elegant and beautiful all the time. And I mean, I like looking put together and elegant and beautiful all the time. So, you know, like, I think that it's cool that, you know, women like them are helping to redefine that standard of like what a woman over 50 or at 50 should look like, because it's really not the women themselves setting up that standard, as long as, you know, they're dressing for themselves. And, you know, in the case of Risa, I think that it's very clear that she's dressing for herself. So, you know, the comments, it's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. If you don't think that the way that she dresses is appropriate, then don't follow her. You don't have to follow her, really. And you don't have to take the time of your day to comment on, you know, how you disapprove of her choices. She's not looking for your approval. She's doing her job and sharing ideas about fashion because she's a content creator. That's it. And in my case, you know, I think about it, and when I used to get those comments, I was never in a place where like I was unhappy with my outfit choices. I wore what I wanted for the most part. Sure, there were moments in my late teens when I was maybe a little bit more insecure, when maybe I wanted to dress sexier or whatever, but every time I tried it, I felt uncomfortable. So, you know, I didn't try it very often. I tried some varieties of dressing a little bit differently and, you know, maybe more form flattering things. And over time, I learned, you know, what are the pieces that suit me better. And of course, the confidence transpires, and that's really what's sexy. So, you know, I don't feel like I need to change the way that I dress. But back then, you know, there were moments when I felt really bad, and, you know, I would try things and then I would feel worse because it wasn't really me. So, you know, I think about those comments that I would get when I was younger, and at the end of the day, I wasn't dressing for those people. I'm not dressing for the men on the street. I wasn't dressing for anyone else. I was wearing what I thought was comfortable and what I felt like wearing, or I thought would be fun for the day or would look nice for the occasion. And that's pretty much it. And I think that that's the concluding thought that I have today on, you know, people making comments about other people's outfit choices. Unless people are doing like something illegal with their clothes, it's really not for you to comment. It's none of your business. Okay? Of course, like there are instances where like if you notice something, you know, a small letting people know that, hey, you know, maybe this is not appropriate for this occasion or whatever. There are moments when that's called for and that might be necessary. So like I live in the Middle East. I live in a country with modest dress expectations and rules, and you know, if I would wear something that is out of line with the country's culture, I hope that someone would tell me, you know, like, hey, you know, this outfit, this is not appropriate for the culture, because, you know, I'm a guest in this country and I want to respect the culture. But other than that, you know, if people are happy with their outfit choices, if you are dressing for yourself, then really people shouldn't be commenting. It's uncalled for, it's not respectful, and a lot of times it's not kind. And I think that, you know, sometimes it shows more about them than about the people that they're criticizing, because it's just, I don't know. It always bothered me when I would get those comments about like, oh, you dress like a prude, when I was in my late teens and my early 20s. I would even get those comments because I would wear like a button-down shirt and a skirt to my receptionist job, which is like normal office wear. And people will be like, oh, you dress like a prude. I'm like, I'm going to work. I'm dressing professional. I'm not at work to show my whatever. I'm dressing professional. I'm in reception. Like, people are seeing me all the time, you know? I want to look professional, and I want people to get a good impression of the company when they come in to do their business. But, you know, it's, you know, people would still say things, and I would be like, what is your problem? You know, at the end of the day, you know, back then I was dressing for me, and, you know, I'm thinking about Risa now. She's dressing for herself. So I think the message here is just, you know, dress for yourself. If it makes you feel wonderful, wear it. If it doesn't make you feel great, maybe don't wear it. Okay? But it really, the starting point on who should be comfortable with your outfit choices should always be yourself. It should always be what makes me feel good, what makes me feel confident, what makes me feel fabulous. You know, how am I going to face my day and, you know, be at my best with the outfit that I'm wearing? Am I going to be pulling all the time because I don't want people to look at me? Like, if that's where you are, am I gonna be uncomfortable because like it's too tight, or, you know, like I sit and like it digs into my stomach rolls or whatever, and you're gonna like feel uncomfortable or like covering yourself up because you don't want people to see or whatever? Then I don't know, maybe ask for some suggestions, maybe do a clothing swap with your friends, and maybe they can, you know, you guys can get suggestions, or like, you know, try things out. You know, a loving, kind group of friends, obviously not someone that is like trying to make you change everything about yourself because they think that your clothing choices are not it. But at the end of the day, like, dress for yourself. People online shouldn't really be dictating what you do with your outfit choices. And age-wise, what is appropriate is up to the person, okay? I mean, it's crazy, you know, like when you see people saying, you know, oh, Jane Fonda looks amazing and she's in her 80s. And then you see someone else that, you know, is just like an online content creator and you'd be like, oh, she's 50, she's dressing too young. It's like, come on, man. I mean, is she though? According to whom? And I mean, is she really hurting anyone? Even if you thought that her outfit's not appropriate, you can keep those thoughts to yourself. Like, is it something that really brings anything to the conversation? Probably not. It just makes the person maybe feel a little bad, and it's really not gonna make you feel any better or make your fashion choices any better for that matter, okay? So age appropriate, I don't know. I mean, I think that there's time and place for certain clothes, you know, like I don't wear a crop top to work because I'm a teacher, and wearing a crop top to work when I'm a middle school teacher is not appropriate. It's not professional, okay? But other than that, like outside of work, sure, I can, you know, if I want to wear a crop top, I can wear my crop top, whatever, right? But other than like time and place, like some things are, you know, maybe not the best choice for certain environments, but like age as a set rule of like, oh, women over 40 should wear this and women over 50 should wear that and girls in their 20s should be wearing this. Who says that? Who says that? If a girl in her 20s wants to wear a potato sack, she can wear a potato sack, okay? And if a lady in her 50s wants to wear a bodycon dress, she can wear a bodycon dress. Is she dressing for herself? I think that that is the most important question, and only the person wearing the clothes can answer that question. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's like an age for clothes? Like, oh, if someone is over this age, she's gonna look ridiculous if she's wearing this. Or, you know, if someone is this age, she should be wearing these clothes or these other clothes. Like, is there an age? Do you think that there's an age paradigm, an age standard for women and the clothes that they wear? Who do women dress for? Do you think it's for themselves? Do you think it's for other people? And what do you think should be the decision making on what women wear? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you think that this is something that you would like to see from me in the future, like another Lampside chat, I think Lampside, see, is maybe a better name than Fireside chat because there's no fire here. I'd be happy to consider other topics and maybe just chat and open a conversation with those of you that watch and follow. Of course, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but my channel, my rules, keep it respectful or, you know, you're not welcome here, period. Like, I'm not gonna debate with people that are making unkind comments. I don't do that. So I'm happy to have the conversation going down in the comments, and I'll engage as much as possible, but like usual, keep it respectful and keep it kind, and let me know what you think about, you know, the age appropriateness of women's clothing. I would like to give Risa Does Makeup one last thank you for sharing her thoughts and opening up the idea of maybe others sharing their thoughts, because that's where I, you know, it reminded me of those situations when I was younger of like, oh yeah, I got similar comments, but like the other way around, and that's where this video came from. If you don't know Risa Does Makeup, or if you want to check the video that I'm referring to from her channel, I'll leave it linked in the description box. If you think I deserve it, I would love to get a like from you on this video. Give it a thumbs up if you think that it was a good conversation piece, or if it's making you think, or if you found it entertaining, or maybe just something that you hadn't thought of before. If you haven't joined us over here and would like to see more, I'd love to have you subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.